Hi there everyone, we are back on the 67 Hail Hail channel and we're looking ahead to Sunday's massive game against Aberdeen at Pittodrie. I think with Celtic there's always a danger that we hype every single match up to be this make or break clash, and I'm always wary of doing that, especially when you've got such an array of huge fixtures that we're in the midst of at the moment. However, I do think, having said all that Sunday is an absolutely ginormous match in terms of this season, Neil Lennon's second tenure at the club, and of course the main thing that we're all talking about, 10 in a row. Now, I'm not saying that if we drop points or even lose at Pittodrie on Sunday that, 10 in a row's finished, Rangers will win the league, all that kind of stuff. Equally, I'm not saying that if we turn Aberdeen over 3 or 4-0 that we're going to win the league and run away with it and all that kind of stuff. But I do think that it's a huge match. I think this Celtic team are really at a crossroads at the moment. We have been for a long time, to be honest. We've been, coming up to that moment when it's sink or swim time, really. And you could argue the game on Saturday against Rangers was that moment when things could have turned for the better with a victory or turned for the worse as they did with a defeat. But I would say that Sunday's is even bigger. I think there's a few reasons for that. I think the whole fallout since the Rangers game and the fact that we lost on Thursday night against AC Milan, even though the performance was a bit better, to me just suggests that Sunday is really make or break time. The team have got to show up, they've got to win the game, but I think the positives are that they've done that in the past. I think there were real positives in the game against AC Milan on Thursday night, in the second half especially. I did the live reaction with David Walton post-match, and I think the great thing about live reactions is that you call it as you see it and you call it as you feel post-match. You literally go on right after the players have left the pitch. Neil Lennon hasn't even given his post-match comments. You've not even had a chance to really see the pundits on BT Sport. So it's really a kind of non-filtered fresh view on the game. And sometimes when you watch it back and you watch the game back and the highlights back, as I have done already today, I think you sometimes think you maybe misjudged things a little bit, which is only natural. And I think from my own point of view, I think there were more positive signs in the game against AC Milan than I perhaps let on in the review or the post-match reaction on the channel. So I think when we went to 4-2-3-1 at half-time, there was a marked improvement in the performance. Loads of pundits did point that out after the game. Yes, there was still massive deficiencies in the performance, and we still did draw the second half 1-1 if you want to look at it that way. But as Neil Lennon said, I think the third goal for Milan was academic. I think that just came as a result of us pushing up the park and, leaving Shane Duffy, who's not the quickest, exposed. I do think Shane Duffy is a real worry. I think Barkas at the moment, I've defended him a lot, but I do think that he's a worry as well. And I think there's other worries in the team at the moment. Players not playing to the level they should be. Callum McGregor, Olivier Ntcham, Scott Brown, which is obviously the three midfielders that started the game against Milan. So there are worries there for me. I'm not going to sugarcoat that and tell you everything's great at Celtic, because we don't do that on the channel. But equally, I don't think everything is quite as bleak as it seemed post-match after the Rangers game, or even for me post-match after Milan. I think in the second half there was real improvement there was real positive signs. I thought Diego Laxalt was great throughout the 90 minutes, or however long he played, 80 odd minutes. I thought Ajeti was good before he came off. I thought Tom Rogic was great when he came on. I thought Ryan Christie added a bit of panache and a bit of drive in that midfield that we've been badly lacking, although his set piece delivery I think could be much better. And I think Mohamed El Younousi looked far more comfortable in the second half. When he came on, as opposed to the game against Rangers on Saturday, played in his natural position on the left-hand side. I just think 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, as Neil Lennon put it post-match, they're the same thing basically, suits the players we've got far better. I think you'll see an improvement in Shane Duffy when he plays in a back central two alongside one other player, as opposed to being more exposed in a back three. I think, funnily enough, you'll actually see Jeremy Frimpong come on to an even better game when he plays at right back as opposed to right wing back. I think the reason for that is we'll be less dependent on him. I think if we've got Ryan Christie or James Forrest when he returns on the right hand side, that's a far better option than focusing all our efforts on Jeremy Frimpong. Like, we basically give Jeremy Frimpong the ball in a 3-5-2 and say, let's see what you can do with it. And to be honest, we do the same with Laxalt on the left-hand side. And those two players look really good players. But for me, if they've got an El Yunusi or a James Forrest or a Ryan Christie playing in front of them, the pressure and the need for them to produce something will be less, and they can just play their games. So I think our defence will be much more solid with Duffy and two full-backs, as well as obviously Ayer or maybe Julian when he comes back, or who knows, maybe Shane Duffy will be on the bench, because he really hasn't shown any quality since he's arrived, and I think the Celtic fans have kind of reached the end of their tether with him, and his honeymoon period is certainly over. Going into the midfield, I think Tom Rogic simply has to start against Aberdeen. I thought he was really good when he came on last night. You're never going to get pace and drive from Tom Rogic, but he really looks to have that bit of quality to unlock defences that we've missed, that bit of composure on the ball, when I think at the moment, the midfield three of Brown, McGregor and even Olivier and Cham, who should be great on the ball, look really rusty, look like they're, as I say, rushing passes, giving slack balls away. I think we need a bit of quality in there. And I think the key one for me is the wide positions. I think El Yunusi, as much as he's been kind of vilified for the miss against Rangers and, giving away the free kick that led to their first goal, and he missed a couple of good chances last night as well as scoring, I think that he could be a star man for us. I think he's a brilliant player, El Yunusi, if you find a role for him. And for me, that left wing role, left attacking mid, if you want to call it that, just behind the striker on the left-hand side, is his perfect place. I think he can drift inside and he can let Diego Laxalt run on the outside, similar to what Ryan Christie can do with Jeremy Frimpong on the other side. There's another issue up front. I think obviously at the moment we don't have Odsonne Edouard there, but I think when he comes back, I struggle to see how we play Edouard and Ajeti, a partnership I would love to see. And I think when you've paid big money for both of them, 9 for Edouard, who's a star man, and 5 million for Ajeti this summer, you want to see both of them playing together. Don't know if that's going to be possible in a 4-2-3-1. I know Jackie McNamara on the channel always keeps commenting on wanting to see us go to a 4-4-2. Maybe that could be an option going forward for Neil Lennon. But I feel like 4-2-3-1 gives us the best of a kind of, I don't want to say a bad lot, but gives us the best options at the moment for the squad we've got at our disposal. I thought there was real positive signs there against AC Milan, and I just really hope that we can put it into action and really show a desire against Aberdeen on Sunday. There's been so many false dawns this season, so many games when we've looked at this Celtic team and thought, this is the one they're going to turn up. We thought it was going to be against Rangers. We thought it was going to be AC Milan. We thought it was going to be Ferencvaros. We thought it was going to be loads of games prior to the international break. It hasn't happened yet. Yes, our first two results since the international break against Rangers and Milan have been massively disappointing. There's no way to sugarcoat them. But I'm prepared to draw a line under it if the team can put in the effort and desire on Sunday and get back to winning ways. We are only in October. Nothing has been won yet. We're only 4 points behind Rangers at the top of the league with a game in hand. We've only played one of our 6 Europa League games. This can all be salvaged, but to be salvaged, the players have to basically get their act together and get into gear, starting on Sunday against Aberdeen. It's a massive, massive game, as I said at the start of this video, and I'm massively looking forward to it. And more so than that, I've just realised I've done this whole video in one take, so that's a first for me. Let's see if Celtic can get a first on Sunday and get a really promising result and performance against Aberdeen. We're looking forward to it. We'll have reaction to it on Monday. Until then, take care and hail, hail.